Good day and welcome to the program Midday Show, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And you see me so listen to me on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl. The program na Midday Show, and we bring this program country today. My name na Changno Jalo. Like all time inside this particular program, we get plenty news, information, and self-entertainment inside the program. So continue for the ultimate the program for the next 1 hour. The presenter Changno Chalo. You self when you listen to the program through the Facebook page or YouTube page, or you follow me on the frequency 98.1 FM, you can be part of the program by way I go now we different comment sections na the social media platform that I just do announce on Radio Democracy na YouTube and self Radio Democracy na Facebook, or use the number 0779819181 and send you text message to the number there or na the comment section, as we will later take them comments and they inside the program. The program again na Midday Show. Inside the program, we start to look at issues. We go inside the Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow don't ask ECOWAS country them for come together and develop digital market for boost trade and economic na the sub-region. A talk this inside one meeting with development partner them and minister them na the telecommunication and ICT na ECOWAS sub-region, where they all with 20 country ministers them for talk on this particular topic. For more on this, we join Alhaji Jallow.
As the world don modernize now, we see plenty countries they don dey use digital technology for improve connectivity and self-boost dem country economy. With this initiative, make member dem at the ECOWAS telecommunication, ICT and digitalization hold 3 days conference na Freetown with ECOWAS minister dem wey dey in charge of telecommunication. We see plenty minister dem stakeholders from West Africa come together for talk about how member states them for improve digital connectivity and give strength to ICT policy them and promote digital transformation na the sub-region. With this, the 20th meeting for ECOWAS telecommunication minister them will help build digital economy wey go support innovation, create job opportunity and improve communication service for people them na West Africa. Wey in the talk, the Minister of Communication, Technology and Innovation, Salim Abba, talk about how digital transformation don't help improve West Africa economy.
Across the region, digital systems are becoming increasingly central to public administration, service delivery, and economic activity. Investments in infrastructure, platforms, and digital services have expanded significantly. Regional efforts have also progressed through the development of common frameworks in areas such as electronic communications, data protection, cybersecurity, and digital government. New issues are also emerging as digital systems are expanding. These include the growing influence of artificial intelligence and the increasing spread of misinformation and disinformation across digital platforms. In Sierra Leone, we are strengthening core digital systems with a focus on service delivery, payments, and platform integration.
We in the talk, the Commissioner for Internal Service na ECOWAS, Dr. Abibu Yaya Bape, talk about the importance of telecommunication na West Africa.
Across the world, telecommunications, ICT, and digital economy sectors are shaping development trajectories. They power modern economies, connect communities, and open frontiers for innovation and competitiveness. For ECOWAS, they represent not only opportunity, but a strategic pathway to prosperity, one capable of accelerating regional integration, expanding inclusion, and unlocking new engines of growth. Recognizing this potential, our region has steadily intensified efforts to create an enabling environment for digital transformation. The Commission is working closely with member states to strengthen the economic impact of the digital sector, expand access to infrastructure, promote local content, and build the skills and capacities of our national and regional stakeholders.
We insert the talk, the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, say West Africa country them for come together and develop one digital market wey go improve economy na the sub-region.
Digital technologies are now central to how economies grow, compete, and create value. Today, the digital economy accounts for over 15% of global GDP and continues to expand. In Africa alone, it is projected to exceed 180 billion by 2035. With significant room for further growth as connectivity and digital services scale up, this presents a clear choice. We must move towards a single digital market for ECOWAS, a market where businesses can operate across borders more easily, where digital services can move seamlessly, and where our citizens can participate more fully in economic activity across the region. It is equally also aligned with the vision of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which seeks to establish a single African market.
Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow end up for call on telecommunication and ICT minister them na West Africa for work as one for improve digital technology for boost trade and the economy na West Africa. For the Society for Radio Democracy, me na Alaji Jallow, they report.
Still, the program we listen to na midday show will come to you from a broadcasting house in New Englandville. And inside the program we continue for look at more issues. Go inside the Executive Director of the National Investment Board, Dr. Edward Hinga Sandisi, as we for tap the challenge them way local and foreign investor them the face, make them they for register them business, make the door open one-stop shop center. Now different office them as well for tap the challenge way the investor has okay face for register them business in the country. It talk this is one official landing over of the one-stop shop center with the World Bank with support from them partner them go on over to the National Investment Board so that business people go able to get access for register them business. For more on this we join Mary Kamara Bankoa.
Concern whether they come out from investor and business people working can invest na the country for register them business. Now the plenty challenge where they can face before they register them business. As report show say plenty of them can get for go na different institution for register them business, and this can make them spend plenty couple and waste time wey can make at times. Because of this, make the National Investment Board become with the idea for set up a one-stop shop center wey go there for register all business them with no challenge. As way for see say this idea come to reality, make the World Bank and SLEDI don't go hand over the one-stop shop center to the National Investment Board. But what na the reason for the program? The Executive Director na the National Investment Board Salon, Dr. Edward Hinga Sandisi, explain more.
The significance of this event is that today marks the official handing over of the One-Stop Shop Center and Business Solution Center at the National Investment Board. This is a major achievement in government's effort to improve the ease of doing business in Sierra Leone. It demonstrates our commitment to efficient, transparent, and investor-friendly service delivery. The One-Stop Shop Center has been established with support from the Sierra Leone Economic Diversification Project funded by the World Bank. It aligns with government's broader agenda to promote private sector development, attract foreign direct investment, and support SME growth and formalization. The NIB was created through the merger of 4 key institutions to improve coordination, eliminate duplication, and enhance service delivery for investors.
Inside in own talk, the Deputy Executive Director na the National Investment Board Salon, Fatima Mawa Sandisi, talk about the One-Stop Shop Center.
The effort makes key references to briefcase investors and investors being duped. That's because they never had a centralized place to go and get all the necessary information that's required in order for them to establish as a business owner entity in Sierra Leone. And what the One-Stop Shop can do, the Business Solution Center, actually goes beyond just big investors. There's a role for SMEs. Once you do the tour, you'll see that we have catered for all sorts of businesses, especially the informal sector, and the processes of formalizing them. You'll even see that there is a crèche there where you can come with your child and you'll have supports to go through the processes. And this is to ensure that we're leaving no one behind, especially women who are in majority in the informal sector.
Where in the talk, the Director of Strategy and Policy Planning at the National Investment Board, Joe Bonda, give overview of the One-Stop Shop Center.
The NIB and the government of Sierra Leone. And 3, how do we actually, what is in there, what are the services offered for the One-Stop Shop? Implies a one-stop, that is a single entry point. Right now, we are looking at a physical building here. You come through that door, as echoed by Executive Director, Financial Secretary, and World Bank Rep. You go in there, you should be able, convinced, to have all your business issues, matters resolved. That means if you're coming to register your business, it should be done within 24 hours. That's the target. With all the challenges we have, I think we can safely say that we can register companies within 24 hours. Basically, the One-Stop Shop is designed to be a critical platform to streamline, to accelerate the processes of starting, operating, and supporting a business. Value addition. It is about all the processes that actually enable business, once created, to achieve their business objectives, as to care, grow, develop, expand.
Joe Bonda continue for talk about the concept of the One-Stop Shop Center.
It is actually best practice. The concept of One-Stop Shop is actually employed by all top-performing investment promotion agencies in the world. That includes our neighbors in Nigeria, Guinea, Rwanda, Senegal. We went to Senegal last year. We inspected their, we visited and they took us on a guided tour of all the facilities that they do provide. Rwanda is highly rated. Singapore, which is like currently, I think, ranked number 2 in investment promotion. So it is current best practice. The idea is that once that is done, it actually brings synergy, coordinated services among all stakeholders, the private sector, and everyone will be all joined up on one mission.
Joe Bonda and say the challenge where the National Investment Board Salon they face na funding for the Society for Radio Democracy. Me na Mary Kamara Bangura the report.
Welcome back to the program within the midday show. We come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. This is not the program where they come to you. This program they come to every Monday into Friday 12 to 1 o'clock sometime on different issues them way they happen across the country. And from that one day we get for do business, we go up on school business. So say the Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Ramatulai Wuri, say the ministry they work now with the Islamic Development Bank for connect about 450 school them na different parts them na the country for get access to internet na then school yeah. So it talk this during the robotic challenge we Madam Yoki Foundation all for some school them across the country. We reporter Alfred Jana been the part of this and put this report together.
The Kamayoki Foundation with the Ministry of Communication, Technology and Innovation begat one-day robotic challenge among schools in Salon. This robotic challenge they aim for achieve the way how AI and other technology tools could be used for address Africa problem and the way forward. The founder for Kamayoki Foundation, Hawayoki, be explain waiting at the reason and waiting in the look for this challenge.
So as I stated, we are gathered here today to officially compete in the National Robotics Competition, but also to recognize the effort that young people are putting in ensuring that technology and innovation are part of the stories that we are telling. And I want to wish the young schools, the students that are participating, I want to wish you good luck and on our win. And even if you do not win, you guys should be proud that you are here from the provinces all over Sierra Leone representing your schools, representing your district, and representing yourself. Know that you are part of something exceptional, something amazing, and we want to keep this momentum going.
Beaucoup time today where people will not know how to use AI, not can get the right answer from AI. This make the Director General for Smart Africa Alliance, Lassana Kone, explain the reason why this can happen.
Behind the service of artificial intelligence, there are expert servers that That's the reason they always tell us when you are asking artificial intelligence a question in your prompting process, you always have to say, act as the expert accountant, act as a medical doctor, act as a geography professor. If you don't put this kind of work in front of your prompt, you get artificial intelligence hallucinating. Do you know what hallucinating mean? Sometimes you get an answer from an AI you don't really understand because he does not understand your question. You are not precise enough. Africa's future, even the AI future, will not only be decided in Geneva, but is being shaped right here in Freetown.
The Chief Minister for the Republic of Salone, David Moninya Senge, they explain what's in our government in commitment for provide internet connectivity to Salone's Kupi them.
200,000 kids take WAS every year. We have space for how many? 20,000, 30,000? 30,000 people in our universities. Most of the others are learning online. And so government has to make that access available so that children all across this country can access good quality education. It is important that we have 4G so that the nurses who are in Matru or in Krobola will be able to register our pregnant mothers and our sisters so we know how many antenatal care visits they have. And it is important that we have 5G in Bo, in Jala, in Cambia, so that the farmers who were there, so that the researchers who are working for Slurry can collaborate.
Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Ramatullah Wui, the same way to explain what now the role where the ministry play for provide internet to private school, government school, and government assisted school.
When it comes to divide between private school and government schools, we will acknowledge that is there, but that is why the ministry, a lot of our efforts and interventions is focused around the government schools or government assisted schools. So for example, the SDI, we got support from the Islamic Development Bank to connect over 450 schools to the internet. That process is currently ongoing because first of all, it's not just having the technology or computers, you have to have internet in these schools. All of these schools are either government or government assisted schools that we're supporting to connect to the internet, available to schools. We're working with partners such as UNICEF to see how we can also have devices in schools.
After where the challenge done, it will be St. Edward's be win and both school come second, with St. Joseph Covent become third. The delegates and coach them begin for testing to Kamayoki Foundation for where they can expose different skill where they get per robotic challenge for the Society for Early Democracy. Mina African the report.
And the program we listen to na midday show, it come to you from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Inside the program today, we get to tweet now the studio Ahmed Nano, and the executive director na Salone Chamber for Agri Business Development. Dinner the program this afternoon, they talk about the status of the agriculture since we President Bill come na power back inside 2023. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the Salone Chamber for Agri Business Development na organization they work with farmers and government for see our best and go for push agriculture go before. Now for second one day we the host, particularly the executive director this afternoon. Now the program made the show as you don't tell enough Adu farm we they listen to with different platforms than that now we YouTube, Facebook and self we Radio Line 98.1 FM. We go straight into the discussion. Mr. Nano, the topic state of the agriculture sector na the country so far. As somebody in the work around agriculture for a long time now, what do you think about the state of the agriculture sector?
Well, yeah, thank you very much. I think to say the agriculture sector, one of the key things I can run my home is basically like one who get a clarion call or the wheel government. We say, they get them bring in as one of the flagship programs as Fit Salon. I mean, that's the will of the government. When a Fit Salon, that's a good idea. And under Fit Salon, I think the government come up with a lot of plans. You know, the plans are there. They don't make an investment plan and all of these. And I think the implementations are on the way. But then actually, if you talk to the ordinary man, Salon, or most of the people, in fact, the last time I go na Kenema, Dueto, na Kono, Bombali, a lot of members, they come to us, what is happening with Fit Salon? People ask you that question always. Where are we? What is going on? So I'm asking, now me when they ask, we they no more for work with the government and development partners for make sure we implement the Fit Salon. So Una for give me a feedback, what is going about Fit Salon? What are you doing? And what have you done to impact Fit Salon? So this, when somebody asks, somebody went into the production system, or as an SME or agribusiness, they ask you that question, it means there are some things we still get for answer to. We as partners to governments, the development partners, and even government, realistically. So it means there are a lot of things still we still will not do it as expected, and we need to do it. For example, one, access to finance is a big critical problem as I'm speaking. You understand? The government try do work with some partners for bringing the financing for support the agriculture sector, but it's very, very small. It's still a drop in the ocean. You understand? And sometimes the mechanism where they also put around this money for let the agribusinesses, SMEs, cooperative, and farmers then get out is so cumbersome and difficult. So you find out say for no say, for you find out for realize say most of these agribusinesses where they done into the sector for over 15, 20 years can't access it. People the way they access them, they know probably are just newcomers. Somehow they are not even much more in the agriculture sector. We need to dive deep into that if we make get an understanding about that. That's a critical challenge. And then secondly, you talk about input sector. You cannot go and get agriculture right if the input sector not go right. I mean, these are the questions that people continue to ask. And I think to say the government need for change the perspective, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture, about the input sector. With the input sector, we are not there yet.
What are the input sector?
The input sector, you talk about access to fertilizer, seeds, quality seeds. You look at machines. You understand? The government is still doing much of that instead of really handing that over to the private sector. We think to say that they're not right because for years back, the past 10 years in the last regime government system, we advocate for make government move out of input sector because then the buy fertilizer can distribute. We advocate for law get NAFRA. We don't get NAFRA they at place. Then we don't get also SLESCA, when they say alien seed certification agencies. These institutions then they are a public sector organization, but then for them then they for regulate the sector, the private sector for make them carry on their job. Which is why we say government move out of the input sector and allow private sector players to take it over. Now, what I mean by that is basically like, for example, if you go Ghana, you go Ivory Coast, you go Ghana, you go Senegal, you go South Africa, you go Kenya. I mean, government has no business with input anymore, fertilizer, seeds, machines. You have now private sector, giant companies coming in to take over. Ghana, you have Syngenta, you have UPL, you have Seedco, you have Lima Grain. When these companies come in your country, then can settle it means game is over. Because they bring in seeds, high quality seeds that are insured, then they will give to farmers, no matter waiting at the price, but then they will get return on investment in anyone with them plant. So it is CISA farming the payoff, it is sweet. I mean, why? Because one, then they provide advisory services, then they provide extension services, then they provide everything where the farmer need for make sure they go in product and make money. Thirdly, which is very much important, they link that farmer to the market, then get organized and ready market for that farmer. So that we not get yet. If we get that right, believe you me, I think to say, we don't get already agriculture 60% or more. But I mean, much of which we depend on the government still they try for push slurry and then some other seed producers for produce seed in country. And I'm not quite too sure, say, slurry get a lot of work for do, now research institution. In fact, then for the work with the input dealer companies, them, for make sure, say, one, they get the soil test for the analysis, pH test and all of these, for get it done. Then also for the private sector players for engage slurry, for make them do now extensive research in terms of really how for grow the yield beyond other countries. And that's what, I mean, research institutions do in the other country. Not to them for really for able for involved in the production of seed and all of these. I mean, they're not able to focus on the research. You understand? So this is how we are going, and it's a big challenge. And I can tell you for free, it not make the agriculture sector profitable, and it make the local private sector players. I mean, we're supposed for really get into the agriculture sector, make a game changer institution. No, they get in mind for good day, because one, the yields are low. For example, cassava, we still get them around 10 to 12 tons, metric tons. I mean, the yield on paper is 30 tons, 35, but we are not. So you find out like then Sarah Bulgari is still struggling, no matter how much money you get. And if you get, let's say 30, you get like 10 ton or 12 ton per hectare. Let's say now, one bag of cassava, you sell them for 500 leon. I mean, something like, is it five? Sorry. You sell them for 100 leon. You understand? And in 1 metric ton, they give you 20 bags. So if you multiply Dandy by 12, you are getting around something not more than 30, 40,000. You understand? Maximum. Now, if you go in for investment in cassava, mechanized way, you spend around the 80,000 leons for able to produce one, 70 to 80. You understand? At the current rate as we go. Now, if you go, you'll also get 40 or 50. 80 minus 40 per metric tons. Are you making profit or you are loss? You're a loss. So the same thing goes for rice. Rice, we are still at 1 metric ton or 1.5 metric tons. For grow 1 metric ton, you spend around 50,000 minimum. That's not the minimum. We just don't lower up. And if you sell 1 metric tons of rice, 1 metric tons now 50 kg bags. 150 kg bags now 500,000 leons. Multiply 500,000 by 20. Now how much than they? Now 10 leon. I mean 10,000 leons. Or loss you get 15,000 leons. So are you making profit or you are lost? So the same thing. So the farmers are really grappling with that. Until we get yields for rice, then 4, 5, 6 metric tons. And I'm sure, I think the minister too is talking about that. He's trying to push that. But we are not there yet. And the only way we can get that, now we'll get, because we're getting mega input dealer companies, they can take responsibility in that. And because when they come in for make money. And then come in also forget, you cannot make money if you don't get the customers. And if you want to get the customers, you get to satisfy them. So they know they play game. You understand? Mm-hmm. So all other folks really, they play game and all of these. And so it's the biggest challenge that we get. And this is why if you go right now in the country, you find out it's a lot of, we need to get them big production side them. Beside oil palm, really. Because oil palm now get big farms them all over. We are making changes in that. Onion also, we are making some changes in that because PC and Sons don't take one of the biggest. That's something that is making some little progress as we see. So for rice, maize, cassava, we need and this now we don't staple food in that day. And if we cannot get maize, or maize also not the same problem. If we can't get this product right, one, the poultry sector, we now proteins. We can't. You see the mass import of poultry product to the eats in this country. Imported eggs are huge. We still gap in egg is around 2,000 to 4,000 eggs, 4 million eggs per year. You see the market gap we'll get. So now we import every year.
Even though they say the production of rice not on all water to that extent, we will make way for tap for import to the country. Government of the they tell you they're able to cut down the importation of rice drastically.
Well, you see, that's basically I don't know side and get the data. The minister might be somewhere. He collects data from field staffs them or some other folks or something like that. Then go get and go give the president. But I'm on the ground. We are on the ground. You see, we have to face reality. And the reality is we have to say the truth to it, to what is real. Because you know what waiting to happen is food security, not to software, not to soft kind of software. What I mean software, like it's something like it's a physical thing. You see it. Me and you know, I mean, Cherno, I think UNICEF for able to do good service to this. When I find out, go to the market. How many local products do we have rice in the market for sale? Do we have in the stores?
When you bring that one up, government go tell you say for the first time, salon now they buy, World Food Program. The World Food Program they buy rice from the government for feed. From local farmers or the government, whichever, for feed for using the school feeding program. Then they tell you say the police more rice now the country in the own argument.
You know, let me tell you one thing. WFP, quota of product where they give not to school picking them, not to we are talking about Sierra Leone.
Yeah, but
and this is feed salon.
Now we've seen they buy them unlike before they buy them externally.
No, I will tell you say probably maybe one or two. The tell them you share the tractors. We will get the machinery services. That thing, they honestly, you know, the initially when the minister came, the program they put through, it was a very good game changer. Then basically, what they do, put 5% or 10% on rice in the Ministry of Finance. We were there when they launched. It was a good plan. You know what they do? It basically make we own local farmers then competitive and increase the price of imported rice. You understand? And what happen is it make the local farmers they become profitable. Now, as I don't explain to you, now if you buy a rice, you go plant a rice, it give you 2 metric tons. And you cost you for cost of production around 50,000. You understand? Then we sell 2 metric tons. The highest price now in the market, now 100, 400, 300 in fact. If you manage, you talk to farmer at 500,000. So multiply 500 times 14, how much than they? You're talking about 20,000. That's 20 million, correct? If somebody don't spend 50, then you go get 20. Is that a profit? So they kill it. Now, before now, then they sell an ox rice for 1,000, then 1 million. So if you get 40 bags, you are getting 40 million. That's fairly better, my friend. It's better. So, but now what don't happen is because of the government, still this government don't come in, they don't lower the cost of imported rice. It already destructs the local production. We tell them that, and I tell them they need for able to look at that. Because basically they discourage the local producers. The farmers are now, they're not competitive at all. Because how they go sell them? If you get for use fertilizer, you get for use agrochemicals, you get for use quality seed where they buy expensive one. You get for use machinery for making you able to go plow your land. So rice, I can tell you for free, is not a profitable. Now, the government need for, I tell the minister that, and the minister, they look and say, for the short term, the Sierra Leoneans, they need rice. If they work for increase the price of imported price, it will be a difficult thing. Now I say, well, look, now pain. Some of us be not take. I remember now this 98.2, I was here. I think I've been to talk with somebody on Atomic Diskin. He was saying, no, it's not a real thing. The government not for increase until you see the local production increase before they increase the price. I said, no. We have to be at the pain for now, for make we able for increase tariff on rice. So that we're able, that money will gather, we're able to put them into the local production. And within 1 year or 2 years, if we also very low, we will increase local production and lower the price of rice.
What do I know so far?
Which is good.
What do I know so far about that 5% ring fence? How far with that?
I'm not sure if it's working as expected. I tell you, say the government don't stop because basically that's why the local imported rice don't go down to 600 and 620 or 50,000 leons. You understand? Which is good for government. But it's not good for Sierra Leone going forward. It's not good for feed salon. It don't defeat the purpose of feed salon. You understand? How government will raise, you remove tax, not even tax, then cut down the price of local rice. Now, somebody when a local, they fund in the online Sierra Leone and go sing, say, hey, Mr. Nano, why you talk this? I'm talking this because Sierra Leone, we need for be self-sufficient. That's why we get feed salon. We have to feel the pain at a goal, at a time for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. After that, it's off.
One for ask, how long you think that one day for the day in place for make we be that same day and later we begin for enjoy?
The energy where the people been getting, where we all been get. I mean, I tell you this for free. We don't get a lot of the Sierra Leonean diasporans when we don't come in for investing into farming. most of them have gone back.
Because of the 5% the government take off?
5 or 10%, yes. And one, they don't get access to. I mean, they come in with their own money, then take them from overseas, and come with them. Some then come there, then plan, they rest them, then struggle for sell out.
So what extent that 5% the government don't take off, according to you, they disturb local producers then?
You remember the time, some time back, a year back, 2024, 2023, 2024, price of rice been there almost 1,000 plus, right? That was a kind of, that's imported rice. It been almost go to that. From that moment, I know some people, they go, calm down. But also, if this data where the government, they tell you, say now, when they tell you, say 60 or 70% or whatsoever, basically, now that thing they didn't get up. I'm not talking for now. And that thing they didn't get up. Because really, local production be increased. People were energized, even ministers, people within the government, within they also in the work, prominent Sierra Leoneans, even they take the money from bank for go invest in farming.
So that one is discouraging now?
For example, I didn't call name, but but some people, and former chief minister, been there into farming. Been there, then a member of the chamber. You go there now, they are no more up in production. Because the rice them they produce, them they package, it's normal. If you go to most of these,
is the 5% or 10% solely responsible for that one day? For make farmers them actually put them back out from local production?
That's absolutely correct. Because if farming look, nobody goes into farming for a business. Agriculture is business. Then we call it agribusiness. You understand? If it not be a business, nobody will put their money there. Nobody go to put their money inside without they get profit. It will be profitable.
At the start of the discussion, you say one thing the work fine. We make the agriculture sector able for make the important contributions them to the ordinary Sierra Leonean because access not the much for farmers them to finance. That one they say if you listen to the government side, they will tell you say no. Then will tell you say money in a bank for loan farmers them. We want for really take money and invest.
I don't tell you say the money there, but is it enough? No. For example, the last press conference or not press conference we call on for make una go also kind of be part of a financing where EU provide to the government. It's 6 million euro. You understand? If you check now, the minimum with anybody they take, they say the maximum anybody they takes is 60,000. Now,
if you 60 million,
60
million for
60 million euro.
The maximum any farmer would take.
No, 6,000. 6,000. 60,000.
60,000 or 60 million. Oh, 60,000 euro.
Euro.
Okay.
Per each, the maximum anybody can take.
For each farmer.
Yes, let's take say that threshold now everybody they take. So if you divide 60 by 1,000 by 60 million, what's that? Now 100 farmers, 100 agribusiness SMEs. So we have thousands of agribusiness SMEs in country. So it's a drop in the ocean. However, it's an effort that the government is making because what they are trying to bring in also the investors, donor financing. And donor financing, they come in as expected. Because you can go meet donors say, I can't invest in, we can't support we. But it's waiting and gets then they give you. So it's not enough. The last money we then give also was under the World Bank. It was a $10 million facility being at the Bank of Sierra Leone. I spoke about that also here. And then they give up to 1 million. How many agribusinesses, companies them for give and they not 10. Not 10 them. So you see, so it's the drop. I think to say the government is also kind of struggling for financing because they're not getting money as expected. And the challenge is
the money where the banks them were available for they on credit for farmers them. For Motunano.
Well, basically we know the EU facility. We know for the bank, for the one way government been give to the Bank of Sierra Leone, but that one is already exhausted. In fact, the understanding about that way, a lot of agribusiness companies, they can't complain is they're not able to get them because the conditions attached is you forget you collateral that the west of Freetown. And farming is in the rural community. We not being satisfied with that. We been get step up for question that. If you really support, it defeat the purpose of feed salon. When you talk about feed salon, it's not in Freetown. And most of the farmers, they will get agribusiness farmers and companies, then they're not the rural areas. They're not in the west. They're not get property now. So let's think, if we say feed salon, let's be realistic. You see, this is the problem when even the previous government with this government, if they're not trying to change their kind of mindset or way of thinking of how to really support the agribusiness sector, we will still keep struggling. You understand? Even the machinery itself, when they come with time, we tell them, say, you don't need to go and buy machines for any private sector players. You know, in the last government, that's what they did. This government also, this is the same thing that we tell them that the last government did the same and made the same mistakes. We didn't get anything from that. Now, waste of resources, taxpayers' money. They are themselves come, the same thing they are doing. Today, if you look at the machinery, it's nothing to write home about. Most of them, because basically government buy, and then finding people the way they give. We don't know how. In fact, the studies that we have done, we are still to report that most of the people, them really 60 or 70% of the people that we are giving these machines cannot really, they are not properly private, they are not properly placed as private sector players where we will support the running of these, machines. So as a matter of that, most of the machines are almost like they're done grounded and they get challenges. So you see, it's a good idea, but the implementation is the problem. So we need for change and be able for, if Namina them, we will tell them, take this money, if not 15 million, 20 million, go put on a bank. You understand? Put a strict condition to them. Would I want to take 20 machines? Would I want to go hire 20, 30, 40 machines? Can't take this facility. And then go and buy your machine. Because the man, they buy the machines for profit. You know, we'll go buy Kalu machine. Also, you have to look at the consumption of the machines, the effective and efficient use of the machines. Private sector player know they enter into anything if you know they make profit. Because one, you have to pay staff, you have to pay operational cost. You need to make profit for stay in the business. That's private sector. Private sector is not NGO. It's not government. Government incapable. Name government them support for tech development program. But I can tell you for free, the way we carry agriculture from the last regime to this regime is still a developmental. It's not a business like.
Quickly, we don't talk
and we
on,
might not succeed fast.
I think we don't talk on most of the challenges them because as you start, you talk on access to finances, way not too visible. You talk about access to fertilizer machines and seeds them, we see also a problem. You also talk about linking farmers them to the market for make farmers able for like pull them products them and sell them and get something in return for go back and go do them farming. I think these are some of the challenges them. Since the launch of the Feed Salon program, anything they would walk away from the challenge them one I think say like the ministry don't really do well on or government don't do well on where they can be able for like capitalize on and try for improve the sector.
Well, the thing is, you know, the thing is, forget that answer correctly. It's a bit kind of, but one of the things I think to say the government or the minister or the government or the ministry seem to do well. For example, you look at Onion. I mean, they bring in a private sector, support a private sector, bring in IFC fund, PC and Sons. That's something going on, but it's not enough. PC and Sons alone cannot provide the Onion that the whole of Salone needs. We need more of PC and Sons. You understand? But it's a good start. And we also see development partners that can choose the chamber. They also establish some women farmers groups, cooperatives, Nada Lunge, Potloko Axis, they for let them be able to produce. And this is one thing that is done, which is good. You understand? The poultry sector, it's also like, I think the minister or the ministry is doing well in that. Then they bring in private, so we get a lot of private sector players now where they come. The challenges are the feed, but we get now feed somebody and also support the one of the feed producers in Sierra Leone, Eastern Farmers. They produce feed now where they supply. This is good. So that one is better. We need for able for combat. The only area here is the vet services. So I can tell you that the government is doing well in that. The critical areas of concern, where people in concern is about those areas I'm talking about, who get challenging: rice, maize, cassava.
And how we can improve on that one day?
As I tell you, the only way we can improve on that, let's get giant input dealers in country and get this out of the hands of government completely. I mean, the government or the ministry can work with the chamber on that. We've signed agreement with Syngenta. We've signed agreement with Seedco. We've signed Seedco. Now, when you talk of grains in Africa, in East Africa, now then get responsibility. If you go to East Africa, maize is about how many tons. Now maize then they feed on, and then they feed them poultry on that. But one day they know they import maize in their country. Like how they feed on rice here. So it means they can help us for make we achieve self-sufficiency in maize and feed with poultry. Because we know they eat much on maize. But just they eat and as snacks. You understand? So rice, they can get it right because they get Liba Grain is an expert in that. If you go Asian countries, them who say they will rest and they come out. How do they get it right? Then they get 7, 8, 10 Ghana here is getting 8 metric tons. Even you look at Mali, you look at Chad, these are desert countries, they are getting 8, 10 metric tons. The last time they buy we buy Malian rice. You know, they make it in the form of basmati. Very expensive, but high quality. We can do that. If a farmer is getting 7, 8 metric tons, believe me, a lot of Sierra Leoneans will get into agriculture. Feed Salone will be a history. We'll get it right. So that's what we're saying. Let the government engage. In fact, one of the strategy also that is wrong, they want to engage private sector players individually. The government does not have the capacity. And it's a kind of strategy where the African Union and ECOWAS don't take. Forming the private sector ops, like the chambers, the private sector associations, get into them, work with them. 1, for making you able to get data. 2, access to market. 3, coordination. Because you know, waiting to happen is, minister is there today, tomorrow you are not there. Who tracks that data of who that they don't support and how long, and how do you monitor them? Because if you look at private sector players, need constant monitoring. What they are doing, how are they doing it, what support do they need? Rather than giving one person continuous support. If not, then they divert those funds, especially development funds. Those are the missing gaps that we have. You know, we have some funds. Let me make one thing clear. We have some funds in country, for example, like FSRP. FSRP, the money that they have is huge. But I don't know what is happening, what is designed, because we are not part of that. If the minister can use FSRP funds appropriately, I think to say we'll be able for even get it right for rice and maize.
We still for the USA with this, with all the money with government and not part of them not put into the sector.
Come again.
We still, you think that we still for them at this level, so with this, so as you say, with all the money government and private sector, them sorry, international organizations are not put into the sector.
Not at all. We're not supposed for the USA or this so now.
Now, what did that happen to the money?
No, basically, it's the wrong mindset. 2, the way we implement, we programs them. That's the thing. And I can tell you for this for free. I'm talking like a Sierra Leonean. I'm not a politician. And I'm a businessman as well. I work with the chamber. We don't talk about politics. The last regime, we have problem with them. The last government, this government, the same, because we tell them what to do and how to do it. Then they feel so we they do bad. You understand? We should, not the implementation. Now what? For example, like they bring in money from the government, it can do well most of the times. For go to donors and get huge amount of money. For example, FSRP is around $148 to $158 million. That's a huge amount of money. How do you use that money for change? You can use that money really for change systems. You can able set up good production sites them in this country. About 20 for produce rice, where they will produce at least not less than 5,000 hectares. And then they produce twice a year. With that money, half of that money there. And you don't do for make you able for Feed Salone. For example, PC and Sons, how much did they get? $12,000. So if you take times 12 by let's say just by 5, you're getting about $60,000. We don't need, in fact, most of the players don't need for rice production really, no needs $12,000. If we just give them $5,000, we get 10 of them in this country or 20 of them. It's enough for making them able for government target and supervise them. Big private sector, local players, they don't enough for making them able for produce what we able for eat and export. So basically that's, but when the design of them project is wrong. When the government can apply for them funding, not to them they manage them, then they call it and they recruit people and they call it PIU or PCU, Project Coordination Unit. The project PIU is Project Implementation Unit. When these guys go there and waiting safe, sometimes they go away from the government or the ministry. And then they do things then sometimes not in coordination with the ministry. So then sometimes they even leave the ministry dry. And they do things in their own way that you don't understand. And they pretend as if they are doing it to, so then without them want to satisfy the minister. And the minister sometimes get overboard with a lot of activities and they know he will get time for supervise and maybe for monitor and see the real impact of those projects. So what happens is after 5 years, huge amount of money like that no impact. AVDP is the same. AVDP, we had $120 million. That kind of money then at this country, to date, we can't get what we deserve. Because of the same thing, and the money is far from the ministry, it's far from us as private sector players who for monitor anything, and somebody somewhere is dealing with that money, and we just say, and it's because when you check, it's huge amount. Ministry of Finance will tell you that agriculture is the heavily funded ministry. Yes, it is true on paper, but then basically the impact. And sometimes when they go for money, the Ministry of Finance, because on the basis of that. Well, those are monies coming to this country, not to free. They are coming as loan to the people of Sierra Leone. They are coming as grant to the people of Sierra Leone. But it's not making the impact as required. The last government, the same. This government, it's the same that is happening. We need for change. We approach. You remember years back, we'll be small. We get an IDA project the way they come. They were making the impact. Then they produce rice. Because, they may get specialized way out. And the ministry staff them back in the building capacity. They bring in experts then. It was supervised. They see things are happening. They bring in universities. They bring in interns. People they learn. Things are happening. Jobs are created. That's what we should do.
In name Ahmed Nano, the executive director of the Salone Chamber for Agribusiness Development. Isn't the program to talk about the status of agriculture and what in government for improve on this particular sector? Mr. Nano, no get better time than the program again. 2 years more for the fifth Salone to the president come to an end. What do you think is for happen now for make we forget right finally, or is it not possible for me to achieve them again inside these 2 years?
No, I'm not saying not possible. I think the minister is dynamic, he's ready, but he can't do it all. He can't do it on its own. The one thing where the minister need for do, he need for coordinate collaboration. He need for strengthening collaboration and then open up, get to the necessary private sector bodies, and then not work with individual private sector institutions. Work with like the chambers. It doesn't necessarily make it work out to SLICAT. You can go to any other. We have Chamber of Commerce. We have Farmers Federation. We have many other. Although Farmers Federation really they can't. For you talk of private sector, they're more basically they are members of the chamber, but they are more on production really. Now producer organizations them, but we can also engage them. So engage those one with honesty and sincerity, not in the form of say like you want to use somebody. Give them targets. This is what I want to achieve. And I signed you guys to do that. If you don't, I hold you responsible. Then I will not have the God to come and say, because we are part of the system, you understand? Because, and we need for blame ourselves. You understand? We are all to be blamed, actually. So coordination is one thing I think the government need for, and especially the ministry need for do. Then secondly, access to finance. We need for improve on that. Even this facility we'll talk about, this EU facility, where they would use UNCDF. I tell you, let's say from January, the real farmers are not, people don't apply for them. To date, they have not disbursed those funds. And they kept them waiting. The bureaucracy is going on. And this one, you get timeline. And now they tell you, coordination is very important. The minister does not have the time. Not the ministry, anybody, they really supervise them for the disbursement of them on time. And not only on time, but the right people. That's why we say coordinate and collaborate and give responsibilities to special institutions, specialized institutions like us, like Chamber. We can do it and make sure, at the end of the day, we produce the impact that is required. Third, you talk about also access to input. That's something that is lacked. We need be able to get input right now the farm gate. For example, like even telecoms. You don't say people in our upline, they're not going to get telephone, right? They're not going to get telephone because we get Seratel. Even as alone, how many people will get telephone? But later, when the government think private sector, bring in the private sector like the telecommunications. Even now in the villages, we get people selling. You get phone booths then right? They're charging phones. Telecenters are there. They send in recharge card. Me auntie or me waiting for uncle then come to me over this weekend. Then they get phone. If we put in, I put in phone. That's who say you there now. So they get phone. I say, so how? Why you get this phone? He say, hey, I want to get connected. That's the same. She's a farmer. She wants to get connected to input. Imagine if you're able to pull money for buy phone and for able to receive call from anybody else also. how much more in your own family way they do for feeding family and for take care of himself. So that's what we are saying. It can be done, but the government need to think open up to the private sector. The private sector can do it. And once we do it, jobs are created. Look at in the telecommunication value chain. See the jobs that are created throughout. The charge card sellers everywhere. And not in Amami the way get in phone, they come, they charge. You know get somebody the way they charge in phone. And they pay for it. And she's able to pay for it. Me and you can feel to say no, they will pay, but she pays for it. So also let them stop this too much of free thing. Free thing cannot carry us anywhere.
Okay.
You understand? So those are the kind of things he like to say.
Okay.
The ministry and the government supposed to really look at and to make we able to change.
Okay.
But we can make the change. With these
Okay.
2 years, we can. If really we able to adapt to the system.
Okay. Plenty thank you to you, Ahmed Nano, Executive Director of the Salon Chamber for Agri-Business Development, SLACAD, for joining at the program today for talking on the topic, the status of agriculture and how government can improve on this particular sector. Plenty thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, now for this program, with the Shogolefe for today, plenty thank you to my producer, Theodore Agana, and self, my technical supporter on duty, DJ Schoolface, and Fatmata Samora. We family before watch we live now, Facebook and YouTube page. So to meet again next time, same station. We will bring this program, can't it? The new name, Nachang Nojalo.